stay up late watching horror movies. Just remember Freddy's only in dreams. Stay close and we can both avoid the creeps. This night is only getting better.
Can we make this last forever? Pumpkin smile while we're near together. Just make a promise that you'll never break. If I be your Alice, you'll be my Mad Hatter.
Candy corn and witchy treats. I'll trade your Kit Kat for Reese's. You give me the sugar rush of my dreams. My tooth is only getting sweeter. I've got a Dracula cake for you and me to lay on the roof and watch the moon rising. As the bats screech above us and the wolves howl out, we'll know this night can't get any better. You'll never break. Come and dance with me this Halloween. We'll wake the dead and make the suburbs scream. We can be whoever we want to be. This night can only get better. Let's stay up late watching horror movies. Just remember Freddy's only in dreams. Stay close and we can both avoid the creeps. This night is only getting better.
Can we make this last forever? Pumpkin smile while we're near together. Just make a promise that you'll never break. If I be your Alice, you'll be my Mad Hatter.
Candy corn and witchy treats. I'll trade your Kit Kat for Reese's. You give me the sugar rush of my dreams. My tooth is only getting sweeter. I've got a Dracula cake for you and me to lay on the roof and watch the moon rising. As the bats screech above us and the wolves howl out, we'll know this night can't get any better. You'll never break. Come and dance with me this Halloween. We'll wake the dead and make the suburbs scream. We can be whoever we want to be. This night can only get better. Let's stay up late watching horror movies. Just remember Freddy's only in dreams. Stay close and we can both avoid the creeps. This night is only getting better.
Can we make this last forever? Pumpkin smile while we're near together. Just make a promise that you'll never break. If I be your Alice, you'll be my Mad Hatter.
Candy corn and witchy treats. I'll trade your Kit Kat for Reese's. You give me the sugar rush of my dreams. My tooth is only getting sweeter. I've got a Dracula cake for you and me to lay on the roof and watch the moon rise. can't get any better.
Can we make this last forever? Pumpkin smile, blowing there together. They say nothing can last forever. We'll prove them wrong, their words will be shattered. Just make this promise that you'll never break. Just make the promise that you'll never break.
Come and dance with me this Halloween. We'll wake the dead and make the suburbs scream. We can be whoever we want to be. This night can only get better. Let's stay up late watching horror movies. Just remember Freddy's only in dreams. Stay close and we can both avoid the creeps. This night is only getting better.
Can we make this last forever? Pumpkin smile, blowing there together. Just make a promise that you'll never break. If I be your Alice, you'll be my Mad Hatter.
Candy corn and witchy treats. I'll trade your Kit Kat for Reese's. You give me the sugar rush of my dreams. My tooth is only getting sweeter. I've got a Dracula cape for you and me to lay on the roof and watch the moon rising. As the bats screech above us and the wolves howl out, we'll know this night can't get any better.
Can we make this last forever? Pumpkin smile, blowing there together. They say nothing can last forever. We'll prove them wrong, their words will be shattered. Just make this promise that you'll never break. Just make the promise that you'll never break.
Come and dance with me this Halloween. We'll wake the dead and make the suburbs scream. We can be whoever we want to be. This night can only get better. Let's stay up late watching horror movies. Just remember Freddy's only in dreams. Stay close and we can both avoid the creeps. This night is only getting better.
Can we make this last forever? Pumpkin smile, blowing there together. Just make a promise that you'll never break. If I be your Alice, you'll be my Mad Hatter.
Candy corn and witchy treats. I'll trade your Kit Kat for Reese's. You give me the sugar rush of my dreams. My tooth is only getting sweeter. I've got a Dracula cape for you and me to lay on the roof and watch the moon rising. As the bats screech above us and the wolves howl out, we'll know this night can't get any better.
Can we make this last forever? Pumpkin smile, blowing there together. They say nothing can last forever. We'll prove them wrong, their words will be shattered. Just make this promise that you'll never break. Just make the promise that you'll never break.
dead and make the suburbs scream. We can be whoever we want to be. This night can only get better. Let's stay up late watching horror movies. Just remember Freddy's only in dreams. Stay close and we can both avoid the creeps. This night is only getting better.
Can we make this last forever? Pumpkin soil, blowing in together. Just make a promise that you'll never break. If I'm your Alice, you'll be my Mad Hatter.
Candy corn and witchy treats. I'll trade your Kit Kat for receipt. You give me the sugar rush of my dreams. My tooth is only getting sweeter. I've got a Dracula cape for you and me to lay on the roof and watch the moon rising. As the bats screech above us and the wolves howl out, we'll know this night can't get any better.
Can we make this last forever? Pumpkin soil, blowing in together. They say nothing can last forever. We'll prove them wrong, their words will be shattered. Just make a promise that you'll never break. Just make a promise that you'll never break.
Come and dance with me this Halloween. We'll wake the dead and make the suburbs scream. We can be whoever we want to be. This night can only get better. Let's stay up late watching horror movies. Just remember Freddy's only in dreams. Stay close and we can both avoid the creeps. This night is only getting better.
Can we make this last forever? Pumpkin soil, blowing in together. Just make a promise that you'll never break. If I'm your Alice, you'll be my Mad Hatter.
Candy corn and witchy treats. I'll trade your Kit Kat for receipt. You give me the sugar rush of my dreams. My tooth is only getting sweeter. I've got a Dracula cape for you and me to lay on the roof and watch the moon rising. As the bats screech above us and the wolves howl out, we'll know this night can't get any better.
Can we make this last forever? Pumpkin soil, blowing in together. They say nothing can last forever. We'll prove them wrong, their words will be shattered. Just make a promise that you'll never break. Just make a promise that you'll never break.
Come and dance with me this Halloween. We'll wake the dead and make the suburbs scream. We can be whoever we want to be. This night can only get better. Let's stay up late watching horror movies. Just remember Freddy's only in dreams. Stay close and we can both avoid the creeps. This night is only getting better.
Can we make this last forever? Pumpkin soil, blowing in together. Just make a promise that you'll never break. If I'm your Alice, you'll be my Mad Hatter.
Candy corn and witchy treats. I'll trade your Kit Kat for receipt. You give me the sugar rush of my dreams. My tooth is only getting sweeter. I've got a Dracula cape for you and me to lay on the roof and watch the moon rising. As the bats screech above us and the wolves howl out, we'll know this night can't get any better.
Can we make this last forever? Pumpkin smile, blowing it together. They say nothing can last forever. We'll prove them wrong, their words will be shattered. Just make this promise that you'll never break. Just make a promise that you'll never break.
Come and dance with me this Halloween. We'll wake the dead and make the suburbs scream. We can be whoever we want to be. This night can only get better. We'll stay up late watching horror movies. Just remember Freddy's only in dreams. Stay close and we can both avoid the creeps. This night is only getting better.
Can we make this last forever? Pumpkin smile, blowing it together. Just make a promise that you'll never break. If I be your Alice, you'll be my Mad Hatter.
Candy corn and witchy trees. I'll trade your Kit Kat for receipts. You give me the sugar rush of my dreams. My tooth is only getting sweeter. I've got a Dracula cape for you and me to lay on the roof and watch the moon rising. As the bats screech above us and the wolves howl out, we'll know this night can't get any better.
Can we make this last forever? Pumpkin smile, blowing it together. They say nothing can last forever. We'll prove them wrong, their words will be shattered. Just make this promise that you'll never break. Just make the promise that you'll never break.
Come and dance with me this Halloween. We'll wake the dead and make the suburbs scream. We can be whoever we want to be. This night can only get better. We'll stay up late watching horror movies. Just remember Freddy's only in dreams. Stay close and we can both avoid the creeps.
Haha, we can do stuff like this now.
Only getting better.
Hello.
Hello.
Pumpkin smile,
Oh,
together.
I think our mics are on.
yeah, I got them on.
If I be your Alice, you'll be my Mad Hatter.
Candy corn and
There we go. Okay.
Now we should
Hello,
remember,
hello.
remember the 5th of November.
remember the 5th of November.
Now it's worth remembering.
Yeah,
Yes, it is. Oh my goodness. How are you guys
November.
feeling?
I'm great, dude. We got the 5th of November and Inauguration Day is on MLK's birthday. Like
That's awesome.
Dr. Martin Luther King's birthday.
I
Can
think
you
that is
believe that?
absolutely awesome. Oh my gosh.
Dude, this is great.
It's like the fates just predetermine this.
We usually do the whole remember the 5th of November thing every year. And this year, well, one, I didn't want it to get taken wrong.
Right.
Because I mean, I have read the whole poem, you've read the whole poem, But
Mhm.
like the first part is them talking about the gunpowder treason. The second part is them talking about Guy Fawkes. And they basically say, God save the king at the
Mhm.
end. So it's not a poem really glorifying him.
No, I always associate it with the rebel, the
Yeah.
underdog.
Yeah.
And, that's I think, there was I can't remember what I was reading, but, that's kind of become the appeal,
Yeah.
especially to kind of the younger generation that is tending to be a lot more, I hate to say conservative because when we think back to like old school conservative, it's completely different.
Oh, it is.
Um, but I guess like today's conservative, um, it's that punk rock element, it's that
Yeah.
rebel rouser, it's that anti-establishment nonconformist. And I think that most of us that really love our country, we were built off rebellion.
Oh, yeah.
That's how our country was birthed. And so that just tends to be kind of ingrained in us. So yeah.
I mean,
That
no.
I thought it was appropriate, but I do understand what you're saying.
Well, I really didn't get a chance to record it. And I could have, stopped at, well, it's remember the 5th of November, the gunpowder treason and plot. I see no reason why the gunpowder treason should ever be forgot.
Yes.
And then that part, that's what everybody knows. V for Vendetta, all of that. But then it
Mhm.
goes into Guy Fawkes. Guy Fawkes, it was his name, and it talks about what he did.
Mhm.
And it does talk about him failing and them eventually saying, God save the king.
Right.
And, but at the same time, he's still remembered for his rebellion.
Exactly. And isn't that kind of how Trump is seen?
Yeah.
By a certain, proportion of society.
Oh, I
But
mean,
but
it's insane.
Standing for free speech now is considered rebellious.
Yeah. How
Can you
crazy
believe
is
that?
that?
crazy.
I was thinking
Is-
about it today. I remember Gen X Democrats back in the 90s. Like, you could not beat them in an argument. You couldn't beat them in like, and they were open to having the arguments. They were open to doing everything to even if they were wrong. I mean, not even if they were wrong.
Mhm.
When they were wrong, they would actually admit it. They would
Mhm.
actually try to move forward. It's completely counterproductive now, of the Democrats now for what they're doing with this. That's just so insane, like compared to how they used to be.
You know what scares
Well,
me though? Is that there are so many people who go with this weird, I don't want to think, just control everything for me logic.
Mhm.
Just tell me what to do and I'm good.
I couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine living that way. I mean, I'm over 18 and I have a mama and dad.
Like, exactly.
I don't need another.
I don't understand. I really don't.
Well, I think the will of the people
Yep.
have said what they've made a very pronounced statement that this narrative that we've been going for at least for the last 8 years, it's not popular. It's not.
It is.
And I think it's just a lot of astroturfing to make people believe that it is, and it's not.
Well, I was telling who did I say? I said usually it's the loud ones who are the stupid ones. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like, because this is not the majority. This is not how the majority of people think.
No,
No.
it was
This is-
completely proven this time. It was finally, it finally happened, and that the populace finally came out and was like, no, we're done.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I feel. I'm just done with it. I'm done with just this abnormal behavior.
It's crazy to see it. I was looking at numbers. They actually did lose ground with actual liberal Democrats who I think jumped over to Trump too,
Mhm.
and just said, we're done. We can't handle this anymore. We can't breathe.
Well, there definitely needs to be some self-reflection there, I do believe. because, like I said, I mean, it's just such a profound message that has been sent that if you refuse to pay attention to it, you're just going to lose again.
Oh yeah.
People are done.
I just,
Well, they're admitting now that they lost connect. They don't know how to connect with the working class right now.
Yeah.
They've actually the DNC, there are a lot of Democrats are coming out and actually saying it. With the top brass are saying we lost it, or the communication with we lost it somewhere, and
Yeah.
we saw where they lost it. I was like, all this wokeness, man. Everything. I was
Yeah.
like, everything can't be racist. Not everything is racist. Seriously.
It's exhausting. It's got
Yeah.
to be exhausting.
I was like, how many times
I
am I going to
mean-
get into a screaming match just because I say I disagree?
right?
Well, and you know that was the thing with like what you think of as like old school liberal. That was the main tenet was I may not agree with what you're saying,
Hey.
but I will back your ability to say it.
Yeah.
I have a secret for anybody who's ever known me. I am literally an old school liberal. I am that.
All of us are.
I am that 1990s Democrat. I literally did it because my dad was a Republican. And I was a Democrat until 2006. And that's when
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck is this party doing?
It's weird. I was raised initially to be like very conservative.
Hmm.
I was raised by very conservative grandparents. I was raised being told all the politics going on and him explaining it to me. I was raised with him telling me the reason why he immigrated here to America.
Hmm.
I did a report on the country he was from, Canada, because I wanted to get to know where he was from better, which by the way, the report totally
Right.
didn't do that for me. Whatever. I think I was in like third or fourth grade, but I did a report. It was a country's report. And when I was doing my research, as kids do, they don't understand what's being said. And basically, my understanding was that they had free health care.
But have you ever experienced free healthcare?
Yes.
And
We're in
It's horrible.
California.
yeah,
It's
actually, yeah.
horrible.
So when I went to my grandpa and I was like, what? That's so cool. You have free health care. Isn't that awesome? And he was like, no. And let me explain why.
Yeah.
And he went through basically like, let's say you need a very minor surgery on your foot. Well, the waiting list for that surgery that you really do need now is still going to be about 2 years out.
Right.
Unless you decide to pay extra inflated prices for the private doctor, the self-paid doctors, all this stuff that
Hmm.
are not using the insurance that you're using.
Right.
So, it's usually out of pocket. It's usually a large amount of money. Otherwise, you're going to be on the socialized medicine thing and be in line for that surgery that you really, really need for so long that now the surgery is actually going up your leg.
Yeah. It's insane. I never understood when we started, kind of going in the direction of socialized medicine, especially with like Obamacare, because I'll tell you from personal experience, we went from having full health care, eye care and dental for like $45 a week, full family, with like a deductible of $500, a really reasonable deductible. Now,
Yeah.
I totally understand that because, I have a very close family member that had, found out they had juvenile diabetes. So I
Oh.
understand that it's difficult. Where did I go? Hold on. I feel like I'm ghost hunting. I feel like I look like I'm ghost hunting.
Ooh, ghost harassing.
I'm ghost harassing. Oh my God. So, see, the ghosts are at it. But so
Oh, wait,
I
I have music for that if you want that.
yes, please.
Yes.
See if it works.
Ta-da!
There it goes.
Well-
Oh, you know we can keep this going for the whole podcast.
Let's do it.
So, but anyway, what I was saying is, I've got a family member, so I get that. But so, why didn't they just open Medicare a little bit more for those people? Doesn't it seem like it would save a whole lot more money to let people that have private health care keep their private health care and just open up the availability to people that have ongoing health issues to
Mhm.
Medicare?
Yeah.
I don't understand this. It just never made any sense to me.
I
And
never.
we went years without insurance because we literally could not afford it after that.
Yeah.
I could not see paying $45 a
was-
month for all
when,
that to $175. I mean, I'm sorry, not a month, but to $175 a week. It made absolutely no financial sense.
No.
When Obamacare first came out, I went from paying for myself and my ex-wife was like $150 a month to I was paying $150 a check to, and then we got to the point where I was paying $300 a check.
Oh yeah,
And-
there were some people I knew that the only reason the other partner worked was to pay for insurance, and that's
Yeah.
absolutely ridiculous.
It was hard. It was really hard. The only when Trump got in there and he started making some fixes, that's when things started getting a little bit better, and the government side of the things did get better because that's what we're on right now with California.
Well, but that's the thing though. We have options for different kinds of insurance
Yeah.
through them still.
Oh yeah, we got once he got there was a whole lot of options that came in.
Yeah, I mean, there used to be like you had two people that you could go through. Neither of them really rocked. Mostly you were pushed through like cattle,
Mhm.
and so you don't get a very personable experience, and you 100% are aware that you're just on some state-run insurance.
It-
Like,
well,
crazy
and
how-
anything with those kind of socialized medicines,
You
and
are-
I don't know if
yeah.
you guys experienced it, but you literally have an appointment period, like almost like having the UPS or the cable guy show up. Like your appointment will be somewhere between 7 a.m. and 12 p.m. and you have to sit there
but get
and
there 15
wait
minutes early.
for them to call your name. Yes, exactly.
I got lucky though yesterday. They got me through right there in the morning. Like I was like Akio was like, she's like, hey, I'm gonna go use the restroom real fast. I was like, okay, and literally you're like, oh, Frank, you ready? I was like, yeah. Okay, and I just
Comes
text
back,
her real
you're
fast,
gone.
and she's like, what? You're already going in?
And I was
They're
like,
already taking me in.
which door? Which door did you go through? Hey, you. Which door? Hey.
It's because we made an appointment first thing in the morning. That's why it was
Yeah.
so it was not crowded. And then when I came back, it was at the afternoon. And it wasn't crowded either. So, but that
Yeah.
Kaiser gets so crowded here. It gets just so packed with people coming in and out. Like,
And shockingly, we don't even have a real Kaiser hospital.
yeah.
Well, we do. Well, we
No,
kinda-
7-Day Adventist is
Yeah, but that's still not a real Kaiser.
no. It is the whole complex where they tore down Wildcats porno shop. Sorry.
But no. I mean, I'll show you one of the Kaiser hospitals down in SoCal.
Oh, I'm not saying it's as big as those. Those hospitals are gigantic.
They're like, they're huge.
On mother, they are
And they're all shaped
mind-boggling. They're ritualistically shaped. It's neat.
They're rounded off.
Uh-huh.
Like most of them are rounded off in some weird way.
That's so weird.
Oh,
their
they're so-
floors are cool. There's a lot of them.
Dude,
There's
you
a
could
lot
be,
of them.
Huge.
You know the crazy thing? The hospitals, you on one part of them, you can be like ground level when you go in, and then you
Mhm.
go down where you think you're going down in the basement and everything, and then all of a sudden when you go out somewhere over there, you're ground level there too. You're like, it's
Yeah,
so mind-boggling
it's-
with how they just build them.
We've got one that they just built not too long ago near us that's like that. It's like I am so confused. Everywhere I come out, I'm at ground level.
Yeah, right. I just walked up 5 flights of stairs. How is this
How am I
possible?
at ground level? I know it's crazy. Well, and the thing about it is too. I mean, in talking about cattle, like trying to just push you through like cattle and all that kind of thing. It kind of goes back to the whole thing. As far as like just, and understand this is my personal opinion. Just the Democratic Party in general, and the dogma and just honestly, it was like psyops.
Yeah.
These
Oh,
last
God,
couple of
right?
years
Well,
that
look what it did
they
with-
have just been running on people.
Look what it did to us for a couple of years there. We're like, we're just not going to do politics. None of us are talking about it anymore. We'll just talk about it amongst ourselves in our private chat. And
I mean, yeah.
we didn't let a lot of people know what we were because it was just constant. It was a constant
But you
barrage.
get a barrage of like hate out of nowhere. You could be the nicest human being on the fucking planet, but the second you say, you know what, I agree with Trump.
You know what? I had liberal friends that who left when they found out I voted for Trump in 2016. They chewed me out, and called me a Nazi, whatever, left. And then they came back and we were friends, and I was like, hey, I'm not doing the politics anymore. I stopped doing the whole political troll. I was a huge political troll, like Republican troll. I would freaking argue with anybody and everybody I could. and I like I said, old school 90s Democrat. You just go out there, you get into it. But
Well, and the stuff you're seeing on X right now, I mean, there are people, granted, some of them are just doing it for attention. I get that. There's just some people that it's I don't want to say it's fake. It's just more attention driven. They got to have their like 5 seconds of fame or whatever.
Their victimhood.
There is literally like serious psychoses going on.
Dude.
Like seriously. Have you
I
seen
have
the
these-
shaving your head thing?
it's
That's
hilarious.
hilarious. I'm over here going, my head's
I mean, at
already
least
shaved, guys."
it's going to give you a warning. You know what I'm saying?
No, I had these friends.
my
and
head's
they-
half shaved.
Well, that's different. This is the whole like I don't know. I don't even it to me it seems like paranoid schizophrenia. The first signs of paranoid schizophrenia.
What were you saying? You had some friends.
I had these friends and they left, and then I finally got back around to being friends with them. And after being a political troll and everything like that, and I finally was like, I was like, I'm not doing the politics anymore. It's exhausting, and I can't
Mhm.
handle it. And finally, sorry, I lost my train of thought. What's wrong with this? Oh.
Your voice was catching my mic, so I was just trying to trying to stop any kind of echo.
No, but finally got around to like not actually like doing politics for a while, and they came back around, and the minute I saw Trump almost get assassinated, I was like, fuck this.
Yeah,
Nope, I'm done.
Yeah, this
think
is
I'm-
stupid.
that was
When
the
you-
first
when-
time we all just went,
we
dude,
all-
fuck that. We're done trying to
See,
hide this.
they tried to make it into like it was a rally cry for us to go fight everybody, whatever. But the reality of it was no. When he said fight, to me it was like, get out there and argue. Say screw it.
Hmm.
I was like, look, I was like, this guy almost died because he was just he's literally trying to exercise his rights. Oh,
He
he's a
doesn't have
felon.
to do any of this.
Oh, he's a felon. He's all this other stuff. Yeah. Our forefathers were felons. They were bootleggers.
Exactly.
That's who we idolize, man.
And your point is,
Freaking raise hell, praise Dale. Come on, man. Look, everyone's a NASCAR fan. I don't give a fuck if
Yes.
there's a felon going in the White House. Not one.
no, not at all. And did you hear Merchant now is looking at like completely just making it all go away?
Oh, did you see what's her face from New York? Letitia, what's her name? James.
Yes.
She was
yes.
practically pissing her pants giving that speech because I'm pretty sure they said, hey, now you're the sacrificial lamb because we failed.
Oh, there's gonna be a lot of sacrificial lambs when it comes to the Democratic Party.
Oh, like those
You know
lawyers,
there is gonna be.
the appellate court, when they told him, what was it?
If you think he's guilty of anything, just no. That was the
No.
trial. Sorry.
The appellate court where they thought, where they literally told the lawyers, you might want to look into basically getting a lawyer for yourself because this is an election interference.
Mhm.
Well, it was obvious election interference, and I mean
Oh,
anyone that at least in my opinion uses just a little bit of logic. could
you know
see
what
that.
it was? I think, okay, the Democrats had a plan, obviously, and they were on the verge of completing that plan. All they needed was 4 more years, just 4 more years.
Oh,
And-
it would have been awful. It would have been
Oh, we
absolutely
would've been-
awful.
Oh,
Because I mean, we're a corporation. Our tax. I mean, granted, I don't know everything about what failed VP Harris's, actual policies were on it, because she wouldn't tell anybody, other than
Nobody
word
knows what her
salad.
policies are.
But I'm sorry, I don't care if it was for corporations making over a certain amount. When you're wanting to take 49% of what they worked for,
yeah.
that's wrong.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
That's absolutely wrong.
That's insane.
And I don't understand why people would want to, because in essence, really, when you look at the base of it, you are putting a ceiling on yourself.
Mhm.
You are putting a ceiling on yourself. Do you not want to succeed and do well and make lots of money?
No, exactly.
I mean, is that to me? It's just apathy.
Oh, but then we would be capitalists.
I'm
As
an
everybody
absolute
says,
capitalist.
As
I
a dirty
love
word
money.
now.
I absolutely love money. I am not ashamed to say I am a capitalist
I
with a
can't.
big fat C.
Money
Every
can't
time
make you
someone's
happy.
like,
Yes,
"Oh,
it
they're
can.
such capitalists," I'm like, "That thing."
There's nothing wrong with this.
Everyone's a capitalist. Don't fucking believe anyone who's
No.
sitting there preaching socialism, but locks down their OnlyFans harder than anyone else.
No, what it is
Well,
what it
and
is
nothing is
they're
stopping. I mean, you, me, Hexus, we all know how taxes work. I mean, you can always donate more money and pay more taxes
yeah.
if you really feel like you want to.
Oh, exactly.
But
No,
forcing everyone to do it, no.
Democrats they're
Sorry.
corporatists. They're all about the corporations. They know what really happens when you raise taxes on corporations. It actually does. That helps eliminate their competition, because these giant corporations, who all of them donated to Democrats this time,
Mhm.
literally can absorb those taxes like it's nothing. It doesn't
Mhm.
matter, because they're just going to redistribute that tax down into the products that we buy. So
And not just that, if they get too high, they'll just leave.
have you
And
guys
there's
not-
your tax pool. Your tax pool is gone. So
Go-
what are you going to do? You're going to go for the ones that make even less,
exactly
and even less,
Mhm.
and even less, and even less.
There's always a damn loophole too.
Go look
Oh, yeah.
around in your cities right now and see how many mom and pop places are left after the Democrats. After this almost 16 years of Democrat rule.
Except, well, I mean, we had a gap in there.
Yeah, but they still had the House and Senate for
Yeah.
2 of those years, and they
Well,
blocked.
that's
it.
like this whole
domestic
tariff
thing.
thing they're talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, all it is saying, if you're going to sell to the United States, you're going to have to pay a little bit of extra.
Oh yeah,
It's
And
not
everyone-
saying if you have a business in America, you're going to have to pay some sort of tariff. So buy American. The whole point is to keep businesses in America,
Yes.
to bring businesses to America. What is wrong with being self-sufficient?
no, exactly.
Oh, and then this whole idea that we are horrible for wanting to put our own country first and wanting our politicians to
Mhm.
put our own country first. How is that xenophobic at all?
It's
Well,
not.
see, that I think that goes personally. I think that goes back to the whole astroturfing thing. I mean, I'm not going to get into it because I haven't had a chance to really look at a lot of the files. But you heard about the Discord servers.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
it made total sense why you would have all these shills saying the same thing on the
Mhm.
same day at the same time within like a 3-hour period.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like, they got to be getting marching orders from somewhere.
They are.
and-
They're an extension of the Democrat Party. The media is.
But it was
They're-
Discord.
It's all the same.
It's
Discord is
just a
the-
meeting place, from what I
I mean,
understand.
that's where they. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm not saying Discord as a company was.
Yeah.
doing it, but it was people meeting on Discord.
Yeah.
Right. I'm just happy that the popular vote occurred, because I think that, like I said, it's a clear message that these narratives and just this bigotry and hate and calling people names, it's not popular.
Well, one of the things that's crazy to me are the flat out lies that people are just regurgitating. This whole idea that Trump is about to turn America into a handmaiden's tale. And this whole idea that they're just flat out making abortion illegal, which people don't seem to understand also the difference between a DNC and an abortion.
Yes.
And then so now they're making up these theories and these thoughts that people are no longer going to have access to it, even if they miscarry and the baby's lodged in there and they're about to go septic.
And see, just about every state has different like rules and regulations when it comes to a medical emergency, a crime that results in a rape. And there is a difference there between those two issues and outpatient elective abortion.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's caused a real mental health problem. Like, there are people that really believe this stuff. They really think that, I mean, I'm sorry, I had the same rights I had last week that I do today. And it's going to be the same rights that I've got next year.
But
yeah,
if they really had a problem with anything, all they had to do was look themselves in the mirror and say, why didn't we get this passed when we had the House, Senate, and presidency 3 different times, within those 50 years? And
Why
mind
not
you,
just look it up?
The very last time that they could have made it a constitutional amendment was when Obama first took office. He came into power with a supermajority in the House and Senate, meaning no filibuster could have stopped them. So they didn't need to go to, because they had a supermajority in both the House and Senate. They could have gone past the people of the United States, where you need, what is it, 3/4 or 2/3 or something like that of the states to make a constitutional amendment, because they could have just
it would have required another constitutional convention.
They wouldn't have to do any of that. They could have just said, nope, we're putting it right there in the Constitution because we had a super majority, and they didn't. They just let it go because they didn't want to attach their names to it.
Then you start getting into a lot. I don't think that it is the place of the federal government to be regulating that kind of stuff, or even putting it into an amendment, because an amendment is supposed to be rights for all. So if you do that, that means that the sperm donor, you're going to have to give them a whole lot more say.
Yep.
You can't have an amendment that only applies to a certain sex.
Well, my point, they had all the power in the world to do that or make it a law of the land. They had everything to do it, and they didn't. The
question is why?
They let it go because they were waiting for this moment. They were not for this moment. I'm sorry. They were waiting for 2022. They were waiting for the Supreme Court to finally overturn it because they got a Republican-controlled Supreme Court. And then once that happened, they could start bidding to pack the court to make it more, quote-unquote, fair. Because once they do that, then they get generational power, which is actually now because of Trump, because of the MAGA movement, the Republicans now have generational power. All they have to do is
and that's something I don't think that personally that the Democratic Party understood, is the fact that eventually Trump is not going to be the spokesperson, so to speak, for the American people. And it's not Trump. It's the fact, and this goes back to the popular vote. We're done with all this dumb stuff.
Yeah.
They're so nearsighted, though. they just they're only focusing on what is directly ahead of them right now,
Mm-hmm.
and they're focusing all this hate and anger on one person, one family.
Yeah, for no reason.
For no, I mean,
for
really,
no reason other than to maintain power.
Yeah.
Because
And,
they
and
literally,
self-enrichment.
and, you know, and by doing so, they made more people look at him, and delve into his history, and then find out, oh my God, the last time he only became racist in 2015 when he decided to bid for the presidency.
Yeah.
For the Republicans, mind you. If he decided to run for the Democrats, none of this would have happened.
No,
He would have had a
no.
smooth ride, right to
Well,
the top.
and don't get me wrong. I mean, as a woman, I first of all find it insulting with everything that's going on that abortion was supposed to be the absolute key issue. I'm sorry. My concern is with feeding my family, keeping a roof over our heads, being able to prosper, being able to maintain my individual rights, which are non-negotiable. And for whatever reason, it seems to me that the Democratic Party seems to think that some are negotiable and some are not. No, none of them are negotiable. If you start negotiating on one, then they all might as well be negotiable.
I saw someone
And-
comment.
It's crazy. And I understand that the point of, I do personally feel, though I could never do it, I do personally feel we do need that option,
Yeah.
but in the very early stages.
Yeah.
You
Oh yeah.
can't make up your mind
Oh yeah.
what you want to do within a certain period of time. That's life.
You know, JD Vance said it best. Was it during? Yeah, it was during his debate with balls to the walls. we did a great disservice to women by not for how Republicans were about explaining their views on abortion
Mhm.
in the past, and for being so strict with it.
There are
Two.
still a lot of people that I've noticed that don't have the same views as we do when it comes to abortion. Where they don't do the whole, well, I would never do it myself, but
Yeah.
they don't even think
Mhm.
about the other people. They just go, no, absolutely not. No way, no how. It is 100% wrong.
Yeah,
But
we
there's layers to this shit.
we've had friends that we have talked to friends before, and they're like, "Well, wait, you guys are against abortion?" I was like, "No, we're for ourselves." Yeah, so I was like, "But it's not my place to choose for you."
Mhm.
You know.
Well,
That's literally
I
how
do
feel.
personally have a problem with people using it as
Oh,
Oh,
a
100%.
birth control.
yeah.
You
Oh,
know,
exactly.
I mean, I understand that things can happen, and you definitely don't want younger, less wise females going to back alleys. They just don't have the life experiences.
Yeah.
They don't understand that they're putting their health at risk by going to some back alley clinic. However, 6, 7, 8, 9 months, that's absolutely, in my opinion, disgusting. I mean, if it's
Yeah.
a medical issue, that would fall under a medical issue, like the child is non-viable, or you know, it's not going to have any type of quality of life, even though they have been wrong many times on that, and the child has been just fine. I
Yeah.
get that, but that falls into a whole different other criteria. But when you can have something moving around in your stomach and then say, I just don't want it. Yeah, you probably don't need to be a mother anyway. But at that point, I do believe that the Constitution owes that unborn baby the right to at least have an opportunity to thrive.
It's so crazy when I hear people say, well, it's just not the right time for me. I'll have kids later. First off,
Kind of
That's the volume
narcissistic.
music back on.
first off, I'm sorry, it's not the right time for you. What if your mom had said that about you?
Yeah.
Second, how do you know you're going to be able to have kids later?
Yeah, because I have known a few people that even going the route of, you know, a licensed clinic,
Mhm.
they're not able to carry at full term anymore.
Well, it's a traumatic experience.
Hmm.
regardless of if you have remorse for it or not. And I have
Right.
only met maybe one person who had zero remorse for it.
I think we all know somebody like that. But those were
Yeah.
usually the people that used it as birth control.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's crazy. I just thought about this right now. Planned Parenthood started out as basically a means to,
Yeah.
to what was it again?
They were trying to cull
I'm trying to
an
figure out the
entire
best way to say this without getting taken down.
Well, and this is based on things
Ah.
that we were
Right.
able to find.
yeah, this is actual fact. This is not us just like making something up for
Planned
them.
Parenthood wasn't very nice. Or
They were
Planned,
placed in a lot of Black communities, African American
Yeah.
communities, with the intention of culling those communities.
because their logic was poor people won't want to keep their children, so that's why they put them there. And
They stereotyped.
the funny thing, they stereotyped, they did all that. But my point being is that now Planned Parenthood does do some good. Aside from the abortions, the health, the clinic, and everything, they'll take people
the free
in.
clinic, the
They'll-
condoms, the
They take men. It doesn't matter. You go in there, they'll see you if you don't have insurance. They take it's donation. That part of it is great,
Mhm.
and it's awesome. And my point being is, Planned Parenthood has started off as something terrible, and it
Mhm.
has some good qualities to it. And it's funny that when it comes to Donald Trump, and I remember way back when he was running the whole grab her by the pussy thing,
oh jeez.
they couldn't forget.
who
him for
hasn't
saying that
talked
20
smack?
years ago.
I think women sometimes are probably worse than men when it comes to talking smack.
Oh
But-
my
but-
God.
Also, keep in mind,
You should hear this one in my ear at night.
keep in
Just
mind
kidding.
that the his phrasing, he was actually saying that they give consent. It wasn't I'm so rich I walk up and grab girls by the pussy. It was
Mhm.
when you're this rich, women let you grab them by the pussy.
Right.
It's not wrong. It's not exactly
I'm
untrue.
sorry. He said allow and let. He didn't just say I
I need
just
some-
walk up and willy-nilly grab someone by the pussy.
I need some chicks back in high school.
So, like, I'm sorry. but
Actually, we
even
know a
his
chick right
phrasing,
now. We had her $5.
But even then, the phrasing was still like more of like a shock thing. Like, man, when you're this rich, women really do like just let you.
See,
Sounds
and
like-
I can find humor in stuff like that. But of course, I grew up in a time when you had shock jocks that were just absolutely, in my opinion, hilarious.
Our president was
but,
Bill
a lot of people
Clinton.
didn't like them. A lot of people didn't like them.
Bill Clinton shoved a cigar up a person's vagina and then lit it and smoked it, and you guys still were like, "Oh, he's an awesome, amazing human being." And I'm honestly on that.
And he
point,
did it on
whatever.
our time. Like that is the only problem I had with him doing that,
And then
was that he
bombed an
did it
Aspen
when he
factory.
was supposed to be at work. If he had waited till after hours to play cigar and hoo-ha, I'd have been
No.
fine.
But why was it? Well, I mean, but then again,
Hey.
it was kind of. I mean, it was probably a kink that it was in the Oval Office.
You know what? Okay, I'm sorry. I am going to defend Bill Clinton on this one factor. If any one of us were president, mind you, let's say we all had separate lives and any one of us were president, we would all fuck in the Oval Office. I don't care what anybody says. And I'm sorry, I'm an American citizen. I will do it on American citizens' dime because I deserve it.
Well, wasn't it? Oh my God, and I may have this wrong. I may have to look it up. But wasn't it Johnson, like the most, like not handsome president that had like all the cameras that were put up so that he could be warned when Miss Bird was wasn't his wife like Birdie or something like that
Oh,
when
yeah.
she was coming down the hall
Yeah.
so that he could like
Well, I know.
put his cigar up.
I know he was he was a fucking asshole. Dear God, racist as fuck. I felt bad. Thinking back about if I was there, I would have felt bad for Kennedy because I know Kennedy had to have Johnson to carry Texas, and if he didn't have Texas, he wasn't gonna beat Nixon. So that's why he had Johnson on ticket, because both of them did not like each other, and I think Johnson was on the verge of trying to primary Kennedy, because he had Kennedy, as good as he was, did have a couple missteps. And because of that, Johnson wanted to be president, and he won. I think he was about to do it, and then Kennedy was assassinated.
Right.
But no, the type of character Johnson was, I want to say he was one of those guys who was actually he was actually well endowed, and what he would do was he would
Who, Johnson or Kennedy?
Johnson, Lyndon B. Johnson. Johnson.
Johnson's Johnson.
LBJ. He was well endowed, and one of the things he would do was senators who would come into the bathroom, the main restroom right there. I think when he was a rep or a senator, or some whatever, his colleagues, when they would come in there and he wanted to corner them and basically show him who his boss was, he would literally just whip it out and start talking to him right there in the men's restroom with it out. And then try to do the
I
whole...
thought you were gonna go with one of those jokes about how cold the water was or something in the toilet or something.
No, I'm actually, the funny, this is a fucked up story, and I'm actually being serious. There's almost, it's like you're waiting for the joke, the punchline.
I know. I was waiting. I was sitting there waiting for the punchline.
No, I was just spoke to his character, because he would actually do stuff like that to intimidate people, like to actually expose himself and to intimidate people and senators and lobbyists or whatnot when he needed something.
Could you imagine? I mean, I don't know if I would take that as intimidation unless he acted like he was gonna, I don't know, beat me with it. But
What?
It was almost like it was almost like the whole thing. I'm sorry, let me rephrase it. It was almost like he was sitting there. He was at the urinal. They're
I would've
both
been
talking while taking a
out.
Yeah, they're both talking while taking a piss. And then all of a sudden, when he's done, when he's shaking, he turns around, and while he's like looking at the guy, he's sitting there wagging it, and then he pulls it in and zips it up. That's the power play that he's doing, and it's like, and it is all of a sudden, if you don't know who if you've never
talking about
Lyndon
right
B. Lyndon B. Johnson.
We're talking. Yeah.
If you don't, it almost is a shock, because if you don't know what's going on, you don't expect someone to expose himself, let alone be well endowed. Yeah. And then all of a sudden you're like, what the fuck? And then all of a sudden he has your attention and he's talking to you. And he's practically, as soon as he's done zipping up, he's backing.
But would you technically, do you think you really would remember anything he had to say after a situation like that? I would just be replaying that situation over in my head.
You have a story to tell. But once you do that,
the president just waggled his dick at me.
Yeah. Once you do that, you back him into a corner, and you're kind of like, standing there close to him, talking to him, and it's intimidation is what he's trying to do. And it's like, dude, you're a fucked up asshole. Why would you even do that? Why don't you just be a normal fucking person and talk to someone?
Megalomaniacs.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then he had the nerve to get us into Vietnam and then quit on us.
Right.
And then Nixon won in a landslide.
Which way are we doing this, dude? Come on.
Sorry.
You know, my dad was so upset. He said Nixon was the first president I ever voted for. And then, all the Watergate stuff happened. But he was just like, my first opportunity to vote, and I voted for Nixon.
The crazy thing is the Clintons and the Bidens were no different than Nixon.
Yeah.
They all pulled. I mean,
No,
look at the
you
lawfare.
look at some of the stuff now, like Watergate was nothing.
Right?
Biden is doing right now is what Nixon was planning to do. He hadn't started yet. They caught him. And then Biden's like, and the Democrats are like, let's just go ahead and, in the death throes of our legacy right now. Why don't we just go ahead and just pull a Nixon right now and actually do it?
Oh my God. So that and just talking about that, it like all these like rhinos that were like endorsing the Harris Waltz
much do they get paid for
campaign.
that?
Well, I'm just sitting here going, did they really think that was a flex? I mean, honestly,
No, I can't imagine. I
I
just don't
mean,
get it. I just
because
don't.
I was
get it.
really joking. Who's going to take Romney? Please, somebody take Romney. And then it was like within a month, like Romney's like, if President Trump gets elected, I'm going to become a Democrat or I'm going to resign from the Republican Party. And I'm
Okay,
like, dude,
bye.
you could have so done that like 2 months ago, please.
Yeah, right.
No
Bye.
one liked you when you were running. I only voted for you because I was like, I am not voting for Obama. That's the only reason why I voted for Romney. I did not like him one bit. Not one bit. It was
I think if
John
I
McCain.
remember correctly, I voted. Who did? God, that was so long ago. I started getting weary of kind of like where the Democrats were going second term of Clinton. Because
Yeah.
that's when all the insurance stuff started. That's when all the we know better than the common person
Yeah.
started. That's when all the gun control, like going after the Second Amendment, started. And that I started voting for third parties at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was insane.
The only one I regret voting for was I voted for Bush's second term. And I cannot personally stand that man.
Oh, Bush was terrible.
I
I
voted
mean,
for
Like,
neocons.
I
man.
was so disappointed. Oh my
all the
gosh.
neocons.
Oh my gosh.
My first election ever, I voted for Schwarzenegger.
Ugh.
I didn't know better. I was like, it's Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Well, he kind of ran on that, I mean, Reagan kind of did that too. Kind of ran on the fact that he was kind of, Hollywood and all that kind of stuff. And people felt like they trusted him, which
Also at the
Reagan
time-
and Schwarzenegger are a little bit different, but
What happened with
At the time though is like he ran on a Republican platform.
what happened with him was when he had that special election that cost a lot of money, and he thought he was going to fix California with it, and he didn't. He realized he wanted to be reelected, so he quickly started moving to the left, and started becoming a rhino.
Exactly. And I think, I mean, of course they say hindsight's 20/20, but if you look back and you look at Bush Jr.'s second term, at least my personal experience, what was going on in my life at that time, it got to the point at the very end of that term, there was no real difference.
No, exactly.
No.
Kind of the ideologies that were developing related to kind of how things were going as far as like Democrat ideologies and rhino ideologies. I really couldn't tell a big difference.
The
And
only
I
reason
think
why
with Obama, I went third party on that one too.
the only reason why I voted for Schwarzenegger was he did stave off the second time was some gun control that got passed through, not with Moonbeam, because even actually Moonbeam, Jerry Brown, he would not pass extra gun control. It was actually one of the only things I did respect about him, because he was like, they were trying to ban bolt action rifles, stuff like that here in California. They're trying to go after all that, and even Jerry Brown was like, that's for hunting. You can't do that, and we're not going after that. And then they were trying to do a semiotic rifle ban and handgun ban, and even Jerry Brown on those were like, no, we're not doing that.
Yeah,
but
no.
once
it is hard.
Once Newsom got in, all that stuff they wanted to do under Schwarzenegger and Jerry Brown, they got it all passed. Everything.
Yeah.
The
worst thing we can ever do is start. I mean, it's already happened to some degree. You know what I'm saying? Like, there are some not restrictions, but like extra things you have to do when it comes to the Second Amendment. In other words, what I'm trying to say, you have to do certain things just to be able to practice an amendment right.
Yeah.
An amended right, which is crazy if you really think about it. But that is the absolute worst thing we could ever do is get rid of our guns.
Oh, yeah.
That is the absolute worst thing we could ever do.
Well, I mean, look at
Well,
England. Look at, I mean, London, really, London in particular.
Mhm.
Look at parts of Australia. They don't allow people to have their guns, but there's still
And
crime.
that a
There's
lot of
bunch
that seemed to
stabbings.
happen.
oh,
fairly
go look at
recently.
all their sex crimes.
Yeah, their
speaking,
sex crimes.
Speaking of all the true crime we
Do you remember the
cover.
lady that went into a freaking liquor store with a hatchet
Oh, and just started smashing people in the face
Yeah.
with it for no reason.
in Australia?
Yeah.
Okay, now talking this about Australia, I have been laughing
Let me get
though
some water real fast.
at their coverage of our news.
I have not seen
Oh my gosh.
that.
Oh my gosh, one of the things I sent you today
Uh-huh.
was some
Oh, the
commentators,
breakdown thing.
the breakdown. Oh my god,
Oh, I didn't realize that was
that was Australian.
okay. I mean,
That came
I
from
realized
Australia.
she was Australian, but I didn't realize that's what that was.
Oh, it was actually like in Australia.
Right.
And it was like lefties breaking down or something like that. I don't remember, but I was cracking up because like she completely pinpointed a bunch of shit going on here.
Yeah.
And she's not even here. If people from other countries can see just blatantly what is wrong with us, why can't we?
Well, and you know, I had a couple of people like pop into my comments that were doing the whole global citizen thing, you know, after Trump was elected. And the point that they don't understand, Americans don't care. I mean, we don't want to see anything bad happen to our allies. We don't want to see anything, you know, like what seems to be going on in Great Britain right now when it comes to how they're treating their citizens. And there's people in jail because they may have said something online that upset somebody. And now
That's so
the prisons are
crazy.
overcrowded and they're having to mix people in with violent criminals and all this kind of stuff. I mean, no American wants to see that. But when it comes
No.
down to what Europe thinks or this whole global citizen thing, they just don't understand. Americans don't care. We don't care. We don't
Exactly.
care what you think.
The crazy part for me was watching a bunch of people. I'm moving out of the country. Bye.
Bye, bitch.
Oh my goodness. I was hoping there would be like,
I
the
wanted to
planes
see
would
a
be
mass exodus.
full. Like, yeah, exactly. Like Wednesday, like
haven't-
that would help so much cut down on this insane rhetoric.
And you get to go experience real communism. Go move to Canada. Go try
Yeah.
out Cuba.
Yeah, exactly.
Go move to Europe. Actually, don't move to Poland. That place is freaking rad.
We don't want you there.
Yeah,
We don't
no.
want you there.
Well,
Did
I did want to read one thing, and this did come out of the UK, and it was written by a Konstantin Kisin, and I really thought that this was
So?
spot on.
Is it a Sir Constantine Kissens?
But he wrote this up, and it said, "For my British and European friends who are shocked and surprised that here are 10 reasons you didn't see this coming," talking about Trump.
Mhm.
Read this short post and then read the replies from our American friends who will confirm what I'm saying. 1, Americans love their country and want to be the best in the world. America is a nation of people who conquered a continent. They love strength. They love winning. Any leader who appeals to that has an automatic advantage. Number 2, unlike Europeans, Americans have not accepted managed decline. They don't have net zero here. They believe in producing their own energy and making it as cheap as possible because they know that their prosperity depends on it. Number 3, prices for most basic goods in the U.S. have increased rapidly and are sky high. What the official statistics say about inflation and the reality of people's lives are not the same. Unlike you, Americans do not believe in socialism. They believe in meritocracy. And anyone that does not understand what meritocracy is basically you are judged on your merit. They do not care about the super rich being super rich because they know that they live in a country where being super rich is available to anyone with the talent and drive to make it. They don't resent success, they celebrate it. Number 5, Americans are the most pro-immigration people in the world. Read that again. Seriously, read it again. Americans love an immigrant success story. They want more talented immigrants to come to America, but they refuse to accept people coming illegally. They believe in having a border. Number 6, Americans are sensitive about racial issues and their country's imperfect history. They believe that those who are disadvantaged by the circumstances of their birth should be given the opportunity to succeed. What they reject, however, is the idea that in order to address the errors of the past, new errors must be made. DEI is racist, and it is.
Oh, absolutely.
They know it and they reject it precisely because they are not racist. Americans are the most philo-Semitic nation on earth. October 7th and the pro-Hamas left reaction shook them to their very core because, among other things, they remember what 9/11 was like and they know a jihad when they see it.
Mm-hmm.
Number 8, Americans are extremely practical people. They care about what works, not what sounds good. In Europe, we produce great writers and intellectuals. In America, they produce and attract great engineers, businessmen, and investors. Because of this, they care less about Trump's rhetoric than you do and more about his policies than you do. Number 9, Americans are deeply optimistic people. They hate negativity. The woke view of American history as a series of evils for which they must eternally apologize is utterly abhorrent to them. They believe in moving forward together, not endlessly obsessing about the past. And number 10, America is a country whose founding story is one of resistance to government overreach. They loathe unnecessary restrictions, regulations, and control. They understand that freedom comes at the price of self-reliance, and they pay it gladly.
Yeah.
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 Shit, I couldn't have
I
said
think-
it better myself.
They left out
I know. I was like, damn, that's spot on.
they left out the fact that we were also a war tribe.
He sort of
Yeah.
touched base on that.
Yeah,
Conquerors.
Oh yeah.
He called us. He said we
Look,
conquered
the
an
vast
entire
majority of it,
continent.
we do not want war, but we will murder you if you
Well,
try to mess with us.
you've this goes back to history. Like people can say, "Oh, well, that's terrible." Yeah, it is terrible. I get that.
Sometimes. I mean,
But-
seriously.
This whole our entire history, not just America, but as a world, was about conquest. Every society has been guilty of conquest at some point. Every nation has been guilty of conquest at some point. It's the human condition.
One of the funniest, I don't know, one of the most American stories of a way to do things. Well, I mean, the way we do things, of basically just saying "fuck you," is the
Mhm.
Mexican-American War. When we marched down they had no chance, none. We marched down to Mexico City. We marched down there, surrounded it. went up to him and said, "Hey, you see that land up there? We want to buy it off of you. You want to let us buy it off of you? If you don't let us buy it off of you, we're just gonna take this land too." All right, cool. We'll see you later. That's literally how it ended. That's like it's like the most American thing, and it's the best way to explain how we treat the rest of the world. You fuck with us, we'll just take your land. We have no problem with it, and we don't care.
Well,
if it
Americans
pisses
are a
you
bit
off.
of we are a bit of an asshole, but that goes back to the fact
Oh, we're
we just-
angry as fuck.
we don't care. We don't care.
We
Most
are
of us have
angry.
absolutely no drive to be a global citizen.
Ugh. I don't
Just,
care about
I
the
have
rest
no
of the world.
interest in it whatsoever. Yeah, do I want to go over there and visit for a vacation? Sure. Do I want to be a citizen of it? No.
You can buy our shit. And
Yeah,
then you
buy
just
our
fuck out.
shit.
I was thinking of why did that?
What happened?
Oh, I had.
Oh, you're on YouTube.
Okay, that makes sense now.
Did we get kicked off YouTube too?
No.
Oh no. We
No,
were
I
on the
was
wrong
over here
window.
looking at something that passed in California.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Okay, there's some things
I
that
do. I
happen
want to
here.
show you guys something from California after you go through this, though.
We might
I-
we're
I-
probably
a
about
little
to
bit
talk
better.
about the same thing here, you and I.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so we have this thing going on right now.
Is that
That
proposition or something?
well, this
Oh,
one
the
is that people
36 was awesome.
are people qualify for reparations.
Yeah.
And
They're going
I
to
mean,
really try to do that. I mean, are they trying to run everybody out of their state?
It's
it says although previous reports indicated that the task force would recommend $1.2 million per eligible person
it won't go through. They're gonna try it, but
in
that's
installments.
this will end the Democrats here because they didn't see the. I'm sorry, this is not going to go through because they saw the map here in California.
That's what I was going to. You mean
we
this
now have
one?
a
Hold
chance
on.
of flipping California back, and that is because of
Uh-huh.
Latino men and women. Like,
Yeah, I mean they came out in droves.
they now are
in support
voting
of Trump.
Republican, and
Well,
now it's one
we're
thing that
talking about
I noticed
that
here.
one. Did it show up? Yes.
It's loading.
There
Look
it is.
at that.
Oh, I was about to
Look
bring
at
that one up too. I have it.
17%. 2020. I can't remember what 2020 was. I want to say it was like 35 or 26 or something like that.
So
17%. Trump only lost by 17%.
California for the first time went underneath the
Wait, hold on.
the Democrats
I'm gonna
lost.
put that back up. Hold on.
The Democrats went under 70% this time, and
Yeah.
that sent,
That's what it was. Okay, yeah.
they that sent out alarms. And mind you, I started noticing this. Something was up
Mm-hmm.
when Newsom when I saw my neighborhood being cleaned up from the police finally coming in and cleaning up the homeless camps.
Wasn't that ironic? Like, could people
He saw the
not see
change.
how freaking obvious that was?
How do I fix this?
Please let me do
Hello.
this. That's why I said let me do this. Babe.
If you tap on the picture and then hit delete.
I don't
You mean
even know why.
it came from me, so you may not be able to. Hold on.
There we go.
There we go.
There you go.
I forgot what I was gonna say.
Yeah, he started cleaning things up. He started cleaning up these encampments, and it was one of the most hypocritical moves ever.
He said
He said what?
he said that he was going to start fining cities that didn't clean up the homeless problem.
Yeah. I was like, you were fining cities for trying to clean up the homeless problems just a week ago.
Yep.
And then it clicked on me. It dawned on me. I was like, this.
There
it
is
happened
no
right-
self-reflection with these people.
No.
Absolutely none.
It's just grasping the power. That's all it is. Oh wait, crap! They're the
Now
electric
they're
changing.
mad about the homeless people.
Did you not know?
But
Did
they
you?
weren't mad about the homeless
Did you
people.
notice that this time they finally started using the phrase illegal citizens or illegal aliens? Not illegal citizens.
They
Sorry.
need to.
Illegal
It's
aliens?
the dictionary definition.
Yeah, no, but
the-
they didn't. They find that
it's
to
no
be
longer
racist.
racist to say that now. They finally saw it because when they started doing stuff like that, I started to notice. That's when you started noticing. Oh, there is a giant change here. But then they started
Mhm.
trying to trick us with all the fake polls from the legacy media, all of it. That was all fake polls, and with me, it did start working. I started having mass anxiety over it. I was like, how is this? How is he losing now? What is going on here? There's no way that he's performing like this, but nope. All these polls say that's happening, and then at the last moment, remember we were texting, and I was like, I don't think he's gonna win. I was like, look at Iowa. I was like, they're stealing Iowa. How is this happening?
Well,
And it was a fake
Well,
shot.
they're now don't a lot of people are kind of it's funny. It's like the Democrats are talking about it now, but there were a lot of safety nets that were put in place this time.
Mhm.
There
Oh,
were
wow.
shenanigans that happened,
Oh,
but there
Oh, yeah.
were a lot of shenanigans that they were able to stop. I want to say it was
flooding, bomb threats, gas leaks.
well, it was I want to say it was somewhere up in Pennsylvania. I could be wrong. So, I'm not going to like name names, but it was one of the election where they were counting the votes, and they wanted to do the whole thing to where we're tired, we'll come back and we'll start counting them again in the morning. And they had a lawyer down there within like 15 minutes, and they were like, "Nope, that's against the law. You're going to stay here till they're all counted."
The one of the things I'm hoping for within the first 2 years, especially
Mhm.
if we take the House, which looks like we're going to have everything, a constitutional amendment for voter ID. Take it out of the
We've
state's
got to
hands,
have that.
and it has to be.
Well,
a
I don't
constitutional
know
amendment.
if legally we can take it out of the state's hands.
Well,
We
no,
can
this is what I'm,
definitely do it for federal.
well, this is what I'm saying. Yeah, where it comes down, if we make it, if we require it on a constitutional level, I think we can. Regardless, that's
And it-
where if it's changed on the constitutional level, if there's an amendment, I think we actually that requires it. I think we can't. It might be,
Dude.
There might be arguments on it, but
Newsom is freaking the fuck out.
dude,
Well, you
Newsom-
may be right about that. If you go in on an amendment basis,
if it's an amendment to
then-
the Constitution of the United
then
States that requires voter ID, it
the
will be
U.S.
done,
Supreme Court can then vote on it, and it's not forced back to the states because of the 10th Amendment.
And I hate
That
to
would
say
make
it,
sense.
but we also now get Supreme Court picks, which will reinforce it and
And there
make
are
sure it's
people
law of the land.
that are really against having I had a discussion with somebody about, I was like, why do you not want a judge that bases his rulings off the freaking Constitution?
I don't understand it. You
I
are
don't
not
get
supposed to,
it.
you're supposed to read the Constitution, look down at it and go, this is not constitutional. This is constitutional. Okay, we can do this. We can't do
We
this.
can't do
You
this.
don't go in there and base your ruling on the 14th Amendment to give people the rights to have abortions. How does the 14th Amendment even go along with it? It doesn't.
It was,
And
it's
they use
grasping
that
for
logic.
straws.
Like, oh, we're doing it because of this. It's not right. It's not legal. It's not a constitutional amendment.
And that's when you know that the person doesn't know what they're talking about.
Oh my god, dude.
Ugh.
I still can't get past reading a post of someone flipping the fuck out. They've gaslit themselves.
That's like sitting in a garage with like a tube, going through your tailpipe.
Yeah. They have completely
I'm just
gaslit
gonna gas
themselves.
myself.
They are screaming about how themselves and their daughter are no longer safe in this country because abortions are not allowed.
Can we go back to the shaved heads now?
Wait,
The
hold on,
shaved
hold on.
chicks? Oh,
Hold on, I will.
Silverados.
I will. Give me a second. Let that one sit with you, though, for a second. I am not safe, nor is my daughter, because abortions are not allowed. First off, wrong. Second
off, your daughter looks to be about 12.
yeah, right. Second, again, wrong, because it's not that abortions aren't allowed there at a state level. Third, a DNC and an abortion are two different things. So when you're talking about now more people are going to die by shoving a coat hanger up their coochies, if they're stupid,
That's what I'm
Well,
saying.
no.
It takes 5 seconds to Google this stuff.
I'm sorry. I know that it happens. I know that there's people that are afraid and they do more harm to themselves because they're more afraid of the repercussions from people around them.
The logic of them saying Trump banned abortion and all this, or he
It didn't even happen on his watch.
well, they're trying to say it's because of him abortion is gone, is not at the federal level anymore. But if you really think about it,
Mm-hmm.
he also expanded abortion at the same time because states like here in California and New York, they expanded
There's
on the
no
law.
there's no
There's
limitation.
no limit.
Yeah,
I think
It's
there's
up to the
6 or
state
7
now to
states. There's
decide.
no limitation.
Yeah.
Well, the crazy
Right.
part is like, somebody was complaining that I don't remember what state,
Mhm.
that they needed. Oh, you know what it was? Okay, there's a combination of things here.
Yeah.
One of the things was they were complaining that this one state required a doctor's note,
Yeah.
in order for them to get an abortion. But but the thing is, this is late term abortion. The child and the mother have to be in danger to a point where the child will not be able to survive and the mother will not be able to continue carrying. There was a necessity for like, it's something to do with like, oh, she's going crazy, something crazy like that. And I'm like, okay, all those situations except for the one of, oh, she's just too stressed out.
Mhm.
But the rest of those situations actually sound like DNCs, not abortions. Like they are, the baby is not viable. It's going to cause the mother to go septic. There's already a major issue. There's an illness that the baby has that when it's alive, it's going to be suffering its entire life. Okay. Again, those sound like DNCs, not
Those are different. Those
not
fall under something completely
abortions.
different.
So yeah, of course you need a doctor's note to say
Well, I mean,
this is what's going on.
look at the absurdity of the Democrats not being able to speak or to communicate with people, like having an actual like practical having an abortion mobile in front of their convention, man.
That
you
just
believe that?
reminded me of, I mean, honestly, it was almost like
Freaking death cult, man.
yeah. There you go.
Like,
There you go. It was, I mean, it was a real death cult.
like it
Is
wasn't a
what it-
psycho bunny death cult. Like
No, it wasn't the fuzzy kind of death cult. Like
No.
that. You know, it was it was straight up.
like
You know, and that's the weird thing about it too, is
people
like,
saw that.
you know, all these. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying I was just people see this. They're like, what the fuck? I do agree with abortion on some level, but what the hell is this? Why would you even
That was
have
just
this?
creepy.
Why
Okay,
would
that has
someone
to-
have an abortion here, like at the convention?
I don't understand is how anyone thinks that is a logical response to let's say pro-lifers. How do you think that the appropriate response is to go so extreme that you have a mobile abortion mobile
That's the equivalency of what they were doing in Europe
At your
when they were
convention
at your convention?
or your
That's-
rally or whatever.
Yeah.
That's their version of what they were doing in Europe, where they're like just splashing soup on like priceless paintings because of fucking oil companies or something like that.
Yeah.
That's practically the same thing, except for with murder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not exactly 100% against abortion either.
I don't think any of us here have actually said we're against it.
No, I'm not.
But
against
I'm against
the-
people using it as birth control.
Yeah.
I'm against it in later months unless it's
Oh,
a
I'm
medical
for sure. I'm right
emergency.
there with that.
When I say I'm against people using it as birth control, I mean those chicks that have had like 4 or 5 when they should just get their damn tubes tied.
Yeah.
And I tell
Or-
you what else I'm against. I'm against just because a woman, I am assumed by some within the Democrat Party to only make decisions using my vagina.
Yeah. Yeah.
Honestly, if your guys'
Yeah.
vaginas shot lasers out of them during your
Now
warm
that would
time
be
of the month,
cool. Now that would be cool.
Scorpions.
If
Female
I could shoot
scorpions.
laser beams
and
out
then
of my
shot
vagina.
female scorpions.
The
You guys heard
Supreme
of the
Court
Bechdel
lady.
test?
Yay.
Have you heard of the Bechdel test? I freaking love Rick and Morty, man. Oh, the best part is Elon Musk was actually on Rick and Morty.
Was he?
Elon
I
Musk.
saw his interview with Joe Rogan.
Oh, I listened
haven't
to it
finished
today.
it.
It was good.
I haven't finished it yet. Haven't had the chance.
Yeah, all of Joe Rogan's are really long.
By the way, we have again a WWE Hall of Famer president.
It's true.
And the Democrats are not, again, a lot of them are blaming Trump's win on that
Uh-huh.
because wrestling
Oh.
fans put him in there, and Democrats are hating wrestling fans right
It
now.
absolutely has nothing to do with their narratives and ideology.
They're honestly,
I mean,
It's so crazy. Like, dude, did you guys throw your back out reaching that far?
yeah, exactly, exactly. Like full of groin muscle.
I hope you
But no,
stretched. God.
when you were talking, Hexus, about what we hope to see Trump do, I tell you what else I'd like them to do. I'd like them to reinstate. I think it was Dodd, the Dodd
Act, wasn't it? Or
the Dodd Act or something like that. It has to do with using propaganda against your own people.
oh,
Oh.
yeah.
did you see?
We
They
definitely need to reinstate that.
reinstate that.
Oh, he's gonna.
Oh, he is.
I think
going,
he said he's getting rid of the fluoridated water.
He's going
Which is
after
good.
everything censorship. He's going after all that stuff, and he's putting in independent. Independent. What are they? Not review boards and stuff like that, where they're going to be.
And
Basically-
they need to go after these social media companies too.
He's going to
Mhm.
start pushing all these. He's going to start putting all these agencies. He's going to start sending them out to the states now. Everything, like they're no longer just going to like centralized in DC. They're like the wild. I forgot which one was the one that regulates wildlife or whatever. It's all going out to Colorado, and it's actually going to be. He was saying he's going to be. It's actually going to be employed. They're going to actually start employing actual people there from the states that they're managing and stuff like that. Or the areas they're managing, not just DC. I was like, this is exactly how you're supposed to do things. I was like, this is why they're calling him a fascist. This is why they're trying to keep him from going in there, because he's literally going to change everything. If he can do this, it's going to be changed. And the fact that he has his own people now going in there, and he will not be allowed. And what's her face? His new chief of staff.
What is her name? It's like Wilkes or something like that.
Oh, she is staunch Trump supporter, and you don't get to go in. It's not going to be like before, where you get to go in and out to Trump and try to influence him. Any of this stuff, you have to go through people to get to him. I was like, this is rad. That's how you're supposed to do it. You're supposed to go in there with your team, do things constitutionally, and then at the end of 4 years, if you get voted out, you leave. Or if you go through your entire, if you go through another year, you leave after your second term.
Yeah.
That's how it works. And that's all he was trying to do.
Well, and hopefully, I mean, I know we're still technically waiting on the House, even though the odds are, it's looking, I mean, like it's like that video I made, I'm almost like tempted to just go ahead and release it, because like then it looks like we're going to gain the House.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I really, really hope we do, because, and I hope that the squishy Republicans will take the fact that they have been appointed by we the people. They serve at our privilege,
The popular
and our
vote,
pleasure. Yeah, that they get
popular
in
vote that
there
Trump
and
got.
they do. Yeah, they do their job.
Yeah, the popular vote that Trump got gave him a governing mandate, and that I honestly
Yes.
that shook fear through all of the neocons.
I hope so.
All of
I
the
hope
Democrats.
so.
I'm sorry. I am so happy that the The GOP is completely, it's purged. It is purged of
Mm-hmm.
neocons. There are some rhinos left, but it is purged of neocons. It's gone. It is all, they are
Yeah.
all over at the Democrats now. The Democrats are literally.
What are they going to do with them? I mean,
Oh,
really
they-
think about it. What
there
are
are
they going to do with them now?
Oh, exactly. There are pundits calling them literally the party of the elite now. That was the Republican wave,
Yeah.
about 10 years ago. Not anymore. It's
No.
gone. We are the party of MLK again. We are the party that Malcolm X can recognize and MLK can recognize.
Well, and I think another thing that I think Trump's administration needs to do is he needs to I don't want to say renegotiate in the fact that legacy media would have much of a choice, but they need to go in there and restructure
Oh, they're going to be
legacy media, because I tell you, it was the independent journalists and the
Oh.
podcasters
Joe Rogan
over these last
right-
couple of years that really brought the real information to the people.
Did you hear the part in his Elon Musk interview where he was like, I wasn't even going to like release this, He's I mean, not release it. He's I was just going to release it without letting anybody know. And then basically Kamala Harris pulled all her shit. And then he's like, all right, we're planning this and we're telling people about this.
Yeah.
I mean, like Kamala Harris really fucked herself by not going on Joe Rogan and just sitting down and talking with him. He
She
said,
would've gone horribly, though.
oh, it would have.
I mean, personally, I just find her so incompetent that she can't get out of her own way. She cannot talk herself out of a paper bag.
San Francisco, that's how they all are. America. Did you see how Kamala Harris is? That's everyone in San Francisco. That's all. And mind you, I can say this because there are no poor people in San Francisco because none of us can live there. Literally, none of us can live there. There is only rich people in San Francisco.
The only poor people in San Francisco are the homeless people that are there squatting.
Yeah, the homeless people who are shitting on the streets there. And honestly, I have no problem with them doing it because fuck San Francisco.
There is an app. There is a legitimate
I don't
app
see how Pelosi
where
got
you can
reelected. Ugh.
you can track where there's feces and homeless encampments and everything on the street through an app in San Francisco.
Pelosi never
I
won
wonder if
against
they
that.
do that so that the elites can just like look down on people.
I don't.
You know what I'm saying? Like this whole like looking down on the peasants.
Honestly,
it almost seems that way.
I
It's
think what
weird.
it is, I think it's a deterrent for other people to move there, to try and move there and fix it. Because
And change
people,
things.
normal people who want to come in there and go, you know what, I actually do like San Francisco. I am a multimillionaire and I kind of want to have a business there. And they're like, oh no. I can't
you
do anything
can't
about
join
this.
this
Because,
club.
can't join this club because if I move there, I'm going to have to deal with homeless people that I can't do anything about. My
Mhm.
property is going to be destroyed if I put up anything other than, what they want to talk about, what they want up.
God, we were
Mhm.
Yeah,
we
Oh,
were
and
at
at-
a
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
concert.
that is literally the Bay Area.
we were we were heading to a concert, and there was an area that we were standing in line in front of, and they had put up a bunch of like trees in between the planters that were there from the city.
Mhm.
And then apparently they were told that they must take it down because the reason they put them up was so that homeless people wouldn't squat on their property so that they wouldn't have to clean up piss and shit every morning.
Right.
And needles and trash and just literally anything you can think of that's gross.
By the way, any alleyway in California, any alleyway where you go, it smells like piss and shit, no matter where you're at in California now.
Yeah. And
That reminds me of like down in the French Quarter first thing in the morning. That's the reason those streets are so shiny.
well, like apparently this company there had gotten in trouble by the city, and they were told that they must remove it because in order to put those plants out, they needed to do some kind of like all kinds of like zoning laws and all kinds of shit, and that the thing that they were using to try to make it look better and also try to keep the homeless people away, it was something ridiculous like, well, it's not giving them a place to sit or whatever, like, and you're like, wait, but no, that's the point. Because you look across the street from that place and we had to wade through bags and bags of trash
Oh.
just dumped out.
Oh,
Yeah.
and God forbid if there were like needles or something
No,
like
I'm
that
sorry.
in there.
Yeah.
That was up the staircase we had to go
I know,
up.
that's what I'm saying. Like
Up,
just up
just-
the way,
Ah.
Yeah.
just up the way, and you're coming off of a main street in Hollywood, and you drop down over into like Echo Park. Kind of. No, I'm getting that
Mm.
mixed up with another area. But you drop down, and it was just literally covered in just bags and bags and bags, and they were open and they were thrown everywhere, and it's just
Sounds like
absolutely
you were
disgusting.
walking in a landfill.
Might as
Oh,
well have been.
That's
In fact, the landfill safer.
that's how it is in Los Angeles now. That's literally how it is. And Los Angeles is like one of my favorite places to go.
But it's
Like,
hard
and
now.
you drive down the 5, mind you, the 5 splits and just goes splits. It goes right through Los Angeles, like downtown.
Uh-huh.
When you get to certain bridges on downtown Los Angeles, it's just bumper to bumper campers and tents because they were not removing the homeless at all, and they just completely took over downtown because of Gavin Newsom.
Mhm.
And now because of Trump's popularity and what he's doing with the Latinos and stuff like that, how they're supporting him, Newsom's scared.
He
this
called an
needs to
emergency
be.
meeting.
Newsom doesn't have to worry about a re-election right now because he's out after this one, and then he's probably going to go try to become president in 2028. But
Dear
help
God,
him.
no.
I don't think he's going to even make it.
I
because-
sure fucking hope not.
but
We don't need the entire country to be California.
because he really fucked up California, and
Mhm.
even though he was re-elected or elected twice because they have so much power here, and mind you, I really believe the Democrats have cheated their way through to California so much.
Oh yeah.
But
I'm sorry. How did we get enough signatures to trigger a recall?
and then
He loses it? I mean, he wins, I guess.
somehow wins
We lose it.
and they based it on the California popular vote. It was like, dude, this is actually based on counties, not one per county. There's 52 counties here. If a
Mhm.
majority of the counties, meaning what is half 52 or 27? If 27 counties or 30 something counties want him
26.
out, he's supposed to be removed.
I don't know.
It's so insane. And now he has the nerve to be like, oh, if you don't clean up the homeless people in your area,
Oh, we're gonna find.
we're gonna find your city.
We're gonna take away funding for your city and stuff like that. I was like, dude, you caused this. You caused this mess.
It's that lack of self-reflection. Or maybe they just know and they don't care.
I don't care.
They don't care.
You know.
They literally have the
You know-
logic. They have the logic. We're going to be reelected, and
Well,
From what
and
now
that's another thing I want to see Trump do is this whole thing that they were doing with this unrealized taxes. That shit they have got. I always thought it was a law you could not be taxed on something that you had not cashed in, that you did not
Exactly.
like you. And,
if you
and
don't physically have,
I don't know
can
how
you,
their way to get around it, but they have got to put an end to that, like
That's
permanently.
that was
That's
insane. When they were
insane.
proposing that shit. I think people were starting to catch on even with that. They're like, "What? I can't pay for my groceries, and then on top of that, you want to tax us even more on
I'm
that?"
gonna have to sell my house in order to pay the taxes on my house.
Yeah. Oh, and then on top of
Oh,
that,
yeah.
if you
It's
wanted,
insane.
so if you wanted to sell your house, you had to estimate what you were going to be. It was going to be estimated on what you're going to be selling the house for. So if the market value they say it's 200,000, you're taxed on whatever that 200,000 is when you go to sell it too. So you already have to have that ready to
that's
go.
not how it's supposed to be. I mean, like technically, I could put my house up for sale and say, I want $2 million for it.
Yeah.
Is it worth $2 million? Absolutely not. Am
Yeah.
I going to get $2 million? Absolutely not. I will be sitting there with a house that's on the market that is never going to be purchased.
Talk about something that
But
makes
that
a
is
bad
my
tax.
right to do as the owner.
I saw a house when I was walking dogs
Yeah.
recently. Well, I've been watching it because I saw it said for sale by owner,
hmm
only entertaining.
Yeah.
Only entertaining offers above 1 million. Call this number. And that house I saw when they moved out, and it's been several months now. And they think they finally got a realtor who probably told them what it was really worth. They,
You're like, you have lost your absolute mind.
they still
Well-
haven't sold it. There's another house in a better
They
area.
probably told them, "Hey, look, people want to leave the state. They don't want to buy a house in the state."
Well, here's the thing. That one is by a golf course, but it's not in a gated
Mhm.
community. There's another one around the corner that is in a semi-gated community, with security and everything, that has had to drop from 800,000 to just
Mhm.
below 700,000, and they still haven't sold in 2 years.
See, that's called the free market.
Yeah.
That's
And
called the
people
free
are
market.
leaving the state.
Well, I think
Well,
even
that's called Gavin Newsom and bad Democrat policies.
Well,
even Elon left us.
they're what they're doing with the state here. What they're
I
doing
would
in California,
too. I'm
They're
sorry.
doing-
I mean, if
I don't blame
Kamala would have
her.
won and I owned a big company, I would leave.
They're literally gentrifying the state here. Is what they're doing. What
The
the
whole
Democrats
state.
what the Democrats do, they love gentrification. They love that. They move into an area.
Even though
They
they
jack up the
like
prices.
to they like to accuse other people of doing it
Oh, yeah.
and being racist in the way
Look
they're
at Los
doing it.
Angeles. Look at downtown. Downtown LA
God.
is a prime example of gentrification in parts where they can do it, where other people don't. Where people, there are people who fight it in Los Angeles, and more power to them. It's terrible. Driving up the cost of things just to move people out. It's
Mhm.
fucking nuts, and that's exactly
I
what
mean,
they're doing in California.
there's a difference in like revitalizing something.
Yes. Oh, exactly. There
know,
absolutely is, and I'm not saying anything about
versus
something that's-
gentrification.
something that's going to come in and actually help the businesses around there maintain peace, crime, or all that stuff. That's fine. That's
That's
understandable. and I'm
basically
glad.
like, dude, you need to clean your room. It's nasty.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fine. But actually going in there, redoing things, and then jacking up rent, jacking up other where people
Mhm.
can't even live. I mean, they won't even allow apartment. It's so hard to get apartment complexes built here in California, to the point that's what's causing the prices to be so high. There's no affordable
Mhm.
living, no it's just packed everywhere.
But then
Mhm.
now this one is polarizing even to myself. Our city just built a bunch of little tiny homes, little homes, mini
Mhm.
homes, whatever, for the homeless.
Mhm.
They have basically the very basics, but all the amenities you could need.
They're little bungalows. They're like those FEMA bungalows. They took them and actually made them a little bit better and stuck some AC
Mhm.
units with them. It's actually pretty neat. It's
So
it's
Okay.
it's a new homeless shelter is what they built.
yeah. So here's where I'm even polarized in my own thoughts on it. Okay.
Mhm.
Cool. This is going to help people who really do need help. On the other hand, there's also people who are going to take complete advantage of it,
Oh yeah.
and they're going to knock some of the people who legitimately need help out of it.
One of my
Mhm.
issues is you guys can build stuff like this for the homeless, and I am all for it. I have no problem with
But
it.
then we can't have
Who's-
affordable housing
But
for ourselves.
But you can't. Yeah, you can't build affordable housing. You can't take a government one of those bonds and say, "Hey, we're actually going to legitimately build affordable housing here," and not have it be a scheme of something else going on here for people, and say, "Okay, these are government buildings, but anybody can move in here or whatnot, or
You
try
don't have to be
help
on
people."
a 5-year waiting list
Yeah.
for it.
Come on now, it's like
Oh, there's a subdivision. It's like I've noticed they're building like these mini subdivisions to where it's just like one road and then there's like a cul-de-sac
Mhm.
and that's
Yeah.
all it is. And like these things are technically shotgun houses. Well, what we call shotgun houses.
Yeah.
They are maybe a little bit longer and a little bit wider than one of those containers.
Yeah.
Like one of those shipping containers.
a sea train. Yeah.
And yeah, and like they don't even have mailboxes. They have like when you have an apartment and you have that one area where everybody's little PO box like little things are, like everybody's mail is just like at the top
Yeah.
of the road. And
Yeah.
if you live way down at the bottom of the cul-de-sac, you basically have to check your mail when you come in or walk all the way up the road. They want $500,000 for these houses.
That's insane.
and they're packed in so close that literally your neighbor could sneeze and you could say bless you.
Yeah. It's insane.
I rented an apartment, and I use the word apartment loosely.
Mhm.
Well, God. One, they used to be a motel.
Mhm.
So then they decided to try to turn them into an apartment complex. And like they were calling them a studio, but really it was not a
It,
studio.
it was a motel room.
Yeah,
It was a
like-
motel room.
But
And
they converted. They literally
they barely even converted. Like, okay, my bathroom was so small, I couldn't use it without leaving the door open.
There's actually a few hotels around here that over on the east side of
But it opened up
Bakersfield
to the kitchen.
that they've done that with, where they've basically they've converted. They have, I mean, private owners have converted them into like little apartments and stuff like that, and they
Mhm.
just said, okay, you have your little kitchenette in there, and it's basically a studio.
Well, get
And see,
this.
I think when I think of
Want some more room,
studios,
take the door off the
like
bathroom.
studio apartments, I think of like the traditional like New York studio
Yeah,
apartment.
this isn't like that at all.
Oh, I would
Oh,
love
no,
that.
Not at
no.
all.
I would
This is
love.
nothing
Those
like
are
that.
beautiful.
Yeah, this is
You
Oh,
know,
the loft.
and we
Nowhere
have
I would
some
love
like
to have a
that.
loft.
And
so
yeah.
these I started off living there for if I had taken their deal and signed the 1-year lease, it
Mhm.
would have been like $650 a month.
Right.
But
But this was when? This was probably years ago.
this is years and years ago. So I signed a lease that was for just 6 months because I was intending on not living there very long.
Mhm.
4 years later, maybe more, they want to raise the rent to 1,000.
Good.
This was when Newsom finally came into power,
Mhm.
and he started enacting a lot of stuff.
And
It's-
the other thing that happened was it turns out. So I kept wondering why the fuck my mail was always messed up.
Mhm.
The mailman was taking all of our mail to the front desk, and the front desk was distributing our mail into the mailboxes. It turns out that they never officially registered as an apartment complex, and they were still running as a motel. Yep.
This is what like Newsom has created right here. Stuff like this.
Yeah. And so
in order to get affordable housing. Natalie, are you frozen?
I think so.
Uh-oh.
I was like, wow, she's really upset by that.
She's really into this.
Oh no, what happened?
Uh-oh. I don't know. I think she'll be back in here in a little bit.
Okay. But yeah, no, I mean, God, in order for something to be affordable, it has to be a sham.
Yeah.
Basically.
That's exactly what's going on, because people are going to do what they can now to get some place that they can live in, and it's basically a bedroom.
Well, my friend's mom lived in that complex before I did.
Yeah.
And she actually lived in it when they made the transition from motel to apartment complex. And so one of the amenities that they sold you on was that they had a pool and a jacuzzi. The pool was never heated, the jacuzzi never worked.
Yeah.
Ever. And I was there over 4 years. And they were always working on it and fixing it, right? But I guess she used to live there when you would live there for the whole month, but you'd have to take 1 day somewhere else.
Oh. If it's got to go sleep in your car down the street.
You have to be gone for 1 day out of the month so that it's not paying rent.
Yeah.
They still accepted weekly payment or monthly payment because it was not really an extended stay. So,
Hmm.
you know.
Uh-oh. I wonder what happened. She ain't coming back in.
Is she right here?
No, that's the laptop.
Oh, okay. But oh gosh.
Well,
We'll give it a couple more minutes here.
yeah, I'm getting sleepy, but
I know I am very tired. No, it's just crazy. I mean, okay, so all in all though, with all the complaining that we've all done about what has happened, what
okay,
could
she's
happen.
trying to get back in.
Okay.
Well, hey, why don't you just play a commercial, the X commercial, real fast? That way we can get some water.
You want to do it?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot.
Blazing skies, the world in flames. Nuclear fire, unforgiving claims. I survived through the dust and ash. Came back in time to give you a chance.
All right, it's just me right now. So we're taking a short break right now. We had a small malfunction. It's okay. But we need to get some water and some drinks and stuff like that. Oh. Yep. All right. Yeah. I don't really know how to keep talking at this point. So far, I guess what we have covered tonight are our views on, the will of the people, the Democrat Party and the dogma, and why it didn't work. The reaction from the left and their mental health status. The popular vote, the Electoral College. We have somewhat talked about what we need to do as a country as well, moving forward. We touched base on the Hollywood elites basically not being in touch with reality. We've circled back around to abortion on several occasions here. We haven't had the opportunity to really touch base on who else we want to see in the Trump administration. But this is not the last time we're going to do a show like this. We kind of talked base on it. We talk a little bit about independent journalism, podcasters, legacy media. But we didn't get a chance to really dive into the real influence that podcasters are really having on both sides, really. And how that works to get information out to us. We did learn about the global reaction. But again, like we all obviously are giving our opinions. This is not fact. This is just what we've gathered, what we believe, what we know on our end. We're not saying that any other company, any other people are endorsing this. This is us. But with all that being said tonight, we all really appreciate everybody who's tuned in, everyone who's checked us out and just listened to us while we were gabbing. We will be back for another episode of You Can't Sit With Us soon. So, but yeah, with that, we are going to say good night.
Good night.
Good night.
I don't set the world in my